Good day, good evening, and welcome to Song of Six. I decided to switch it up because Mana Lords is still in alpha and there's going to be a lot of updates, so there's no point in playing it now because we're just going to be playing it later, right? When it's actually done. I just realized the volume could be a little bit lower here. So let me change that. That's the first time I've been into the audio menu there. Right, so this is Song of Six, and it's very similar to Mana Lords, except the perspective is top down, and it kind of reminds me of GTA 1 and 2. It would actually be kind of cool if you could control these guys, but as you can see, this guy here is like a lizard man. He's Amevian. And what's pretty cool, the reason why I'm making this video is because I've got a large, diverse population. So the city is a Talapi city, and Talapi are these territorial, bloodthirsty guardians of the forests. So they love foresty stuff. They like it when I plonk down trees. As you can see, these trees produce lovely blue glowing energy called harmony. Well, it's all blue actually, it's just information view. This is dread, and that's emanating from the scaffolds over there. And there's more dread emanating from these humidifiers, which are plonked down in the Garthemi. Okay, I just want to get it right, Garthemi. So they're like insect people, and I got them all working in the mines here. As you can see, these are all insect people. This guy's name is Reynos Ardu, and there's a hell of a lot of information here. He wants access to a better shrine. This is like the important stuff. This kind of tells you how to build the city better. But this is actually G-Town over here. It's Garthemi Town, because that's where all the Garthemis live. Garthimi, I guess it could also be. Or Garthimi. Anyway, this is a little hunting place over there. It's unimportant. Down here is where the Amevians live. That's the lizard-like people. And you see all the Garthemis are working the mine here. The Amevians work at the fisheries because they're pretty good at swimming. I think that's why. They kind of like it, they enjoy it. Quite a few Garthemis working there too, something I didn't expect. In the fields we've got Cretonians. They love growing stuff, and I think they like livestock too, I'm not sure. They're like pig people. There's a livestock pen where we've got, let me take the people off there, the workload is low. We've got these lizards who are being farmed also by the Amevians, that's why they're down here. So everything down here is like Amevian, everything here is Garthemi. This top corner is supposed to be Talapi, but they're kind of all mixed. And that's like the CBD. In the middle of the city here we've got a mixture of Talapi, humans, Cretonians, and Dondorians. The Dondorians live in this little district here. It's basically just these houses, because there's not that many of them. And these streets are paved for them. And they all work in like as carpenters and in like various factory crafting jobs. And They are sturdy and stubborn. They don't care much for farming, but excel at mining and enjoy refinement. I actually kind of forgot that they were good at mining. I should put them on the mines here, because I've got these chappies doing it, and that's actually not a good idea. So I think maybe I should build a Dondorian. You can change the priorities here. So I can, for example, choose these guys and take them off ore mines. I don't know why there's so many on ore mines. I suppose those are the only jobs available to them. I haven't got these guys on the mines except for gems, I see. I'm going to put some of them on the ore as well. Now that I realize that they're actually good at mining. I don't think they enjoy it though. Let's have a look. You can see how much they enjoy it. So they enjoy gems and Sithleon, which is why I got them, because the more that they enjoy their lives, the more of them will show up in your city. There's no way to breed Dondorians, which makes them kind of special. You can breed pretty much everyone in the nurseries. There's a Cretonian nursery, it's a Lapi nursery, we've got a Mevian nursery down here, and a Garthini nursery up here, which has got a humidifier in it, I just realized. Yeah, so you can't breed Dondorians, so the only way to get them to arrive is by making them happy. So I think you can also get to the menu here, yeah, work priorities. Okay, but I prefer it here because you can also see how many people you got working on each job here. This is a super useful menu when you're trying to like debug unemployment and stuff like that. So you can see here how many people are employed. We've got a very good unemployment rate, it's only 6%. But every race has its own unemployment rate. So all the Tilapis are employed, all of the Cretonians are employed. Not so much Dondorians are employed. So maybe it was a good idea to have some of them on the ore mines here. I'll just make it available to them on all fronts. Should definitely have them work in the bowers because that's in town. The bowers, I suppose, the people who make bows. This is the bow shop. I got quite a lot of weapons and stuff, well, more than I've ever had in this playthrough. I have played this game before and beaten it, but that was in an earlier stage of development, and they've added, or at least he is a sole developer, he's added a lot more stuff since then. It's a wonderful game. It's got a hell of a lot of personality. Yeah, so what was I doing again? I wanted to... Yeah, no, well, the priorities are fine. Okay. This game, at the real-time speed, it goes really, really slowly. But you can speed it up to pretty absurd speeds. So this is... I wasn't even running it at normal speed, was I? No, I was. Okay, this is double speed, and I think this is like triple or even more. It looks like 10 times speed. And then this is like hyper speed. I don't know like how many times it is, but you can go through a year in like 30 seconds, or maybe, I don't know, yeah, like around there. You can go through a whole year. Going into spring now, and this is where you see your food supply, how many days left of food you can afford. And this is where you see how many available workers you have. Yeah, so I actually have no idea what I was doing when I left off last time. Got a hell of a lot of people working in the library. I'm trying to build it up to get libraries. Oh yes, I just purchased paper making because in order to build a library you need paper making anyway. I was thinking of unlocking schooling, but that also needs paper, I believe. Let's have a look. I believe it's in administration. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, costs paper to build. So we're gonna need paper one way or the other. We can always trade for it. But a healthy administration. Oh yeah, I realized I just got to the level where I can build an administrative building. An embassy is what it's called. So we have administration and we have an embassy, and that'll come in useful when we are engaging in diplomacy. So this guy I'm trading with, but this guy I'm not trading with. You can ask him to trade. Oh, I am trading with him. Okay, great. Yeah, I must have done that right at the end. But he still doesn't like me that much. I remember I had to pay like 30,000 just to get that trade route open. But I think it's good to have many trade routes. Yeah, so these two guys like me, this guy not as much. But you can get people to like you by sending ambassadors. And that's what the embassy is for. Oh, what's up, dude? Yeah, it is a cool game. I'm planning on attacking this place because they only have 369 people. That's actually less than when I checked last time. Yeah, how you doing, El? You've changed back to your original form. I'm building a chamber here for a noble. So this is where you see your nobleman. She's got dirt on her face for some reason. There's wells all over the place where they can clean up if they need to. But she's a farming person. Where do you see? What's up? Master of Farms. So she gives me a boost to farming, and I can actually elevate anybody. But before I do so, I like to have a chamber prepared for them. Otherwise, they complain. Yeah. Looks like my food supply is quite low. Oh, here's the paper making thing. Alright, so I got that going. It's so difficult for me to remember what I was doing. It is similar to Dwarf Fortress, the main difference being that there's no Z level. But I would say that this game is actually better than Dwarf Fortress in a lot of ways. Like, Dwarf Fortress lost its appeal to me when I realized that there was no light mechanic in the game. There's no like darkness and lightness. And this game has a very simple darkness and lightness system where it goes day-night and you can place torches and stuff. But Dwarf Fortress seems like it needs to have darkness and lightness because you're going from the top to the bottom, and also it goes from day to night too, although there doesn't seem to be any difference between daytime and nighttime in that game. But if you go underground, everything is just bright. Everything is just globally illuminated. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it's unfinished. He's added so much detail into that game, but he overlooked the main thing that gives the universe, like, life, which is light. You know, it's like the main thing. It's the main, like, when we're talking about what is the electromagnetic spectrum, it's like light is like the first thing you think of. I don't know. It is for me anyway. I think it's really important. So for a game like that to omit something so fundamental, it just seems strange. But these guys have shadows, and I know the Amevians in particular enjoy light. Yeah, did you ever play? Yeah, this game is also better than Dwarf Fortress because it's more real time. Like Dwarf Fortress is weird with like the way everything steps forward in time. You know, like you can't really tell what's going on in the battles without reading the battle logs. And this game has realistic battles similar to like Total War or Manor Lords. And the battles are just much bigger. There's just way more people. I was saying before you got here, this game reminds me of GTA 1 and 2. And it would be cool if you could like possess one of these dudes and run around. Check, these are the lizard people. I was explaining before you got here, we've got humans, we've got lizard people, we've got Garthemes, which live in this little ghetto over here. I shouldn't say that. I didn't mean it in a racial way. I just meant like you get ghettos of all kinds. It's just got that association. Luckily, my one strike has gone away. So yeah. Anyway, this is where the Garthemes live. They are very racist. This game is full of racial tension. Anyway, I'm not going to go over everything that I said earlier because I want this video to kind of appeal to everybody. The Dondorians live over here though, and they're special. They're kind of like dwarves. You can't breed them. Nobody knows where they come from. Yeah. I was gonna say something about Dwarf Fortress. Oh yeah, the game Towns. You should, or I don't know if you know the game Towns. It came out many years before I knew about Terraria even. No, it was actually around the same time. But it was similar to Dwarf Fortress. It was actually like an earlier version of games like this. But I think the developers abandoned it, which is why nobody really remembers it. But it was about running a tavern, and then heroes who were supposedly like the protagonists of their own games would come to your tavern, and then they would go down. So it had Z levels. You would go down into the dungeons and just follow them fighting monsters and stuff. You wouldn't really have any direct control over them. Your whole objective was just to facilitate their stay in your town. But you could have like all sorts of special, like pre-made, pre-designed heroes staying at your place. It was a really fun game. I liked it. No worries. GTA was one whole planet. Yeah, that would be cool. The game that I'm making at the moment, it's like this. It's similar to this. I don't think I'll ever be able to make it as good as this because I'm not like a C programmer. So my Python can only get me so far. Unfortunately, there might be ways in the future for me to speed it up, but at the moment, I've sped it up as much as I can. Anyway, getting sidetracked. The game is going to be like this, except you can possess people. So it's going to have the potential to be like a open world game where it's like an open world platformer game, but you can also build cities in it and stuff like that. I want to be able to work your way up from a peasant to a king. Geez, I must actually get working on that more. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah, so I was saying about the racism. I think all of them are a little bit, except for the humans. The humans are the most accepting race in this game, and you can see here. So the green ones are the ones that they like, and they like everybody. And I think these guys here are the most racist because they only like Argonash, the spider people, and amoebias, which are the lizard people. And let's see, Dondorians. Yeah. Okay, so you said he'll be back. Probably won't be there. I feel kind of bad for saying I'm not going to repeat what I said, but yeah, it's silly because like it's not as if this video is going to be massively popular. You know, it's probably better just to engage with people on the stream. But anyway, saying the things I shouldn't say out loud. So this is how you cut down trees. I don't know why I keep making it into like an instructional video and I should just be playing. It's because I get worried that I'm not playing well enough, and then I also get worried that I'm not doing the stream well enough. But you know how it goes. So there's one of these that wants to come in, but I don't want to accept more of them because there's so many of them. They get a bonus for being in the majority, and they don't like being in the minority, so they'll get a debuff for that. But you basically want to get the green bar up. Green bars are good, usually, and that indicates how happy they are and how willing they are to move into your city. Very similar to Manowars. It's actually like almost the same, exactly the same. That number indicating how much technology I have won't go up unless I get more people working on it. It's just going to stay the same, and in fact it'll go down if I take people off it. You can see the blue blood of the amoebian that was killed here. Oh, they're fighting apparently. Yeah, I'll show that comes back. These guys standing around are listening to Dragon Stike Chadwell is spreading the news. I'm spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I'm not gonna sing the rest of the song, 'cause I get carried away. Okay. Geez, I'm picking up quite a lot of diamantes. Cool, I've got a new chamber. So maybe I should make a diverse crew of nobles. Narcocrat, master of the feast. Alcohol producing buildings and savory snacks. Master Beta, oh my gosh, that's a cheap joke there. Master Beta is the master of fishing guild. Their incredible, why did I go into an Australian? Their incredible knowledge of the bounties of the sea allows them to tremendously boost fishing output. Makes sense? That would actually help a lot. Master of the hunt. Self-explanatory. I kind of regret making the Master of Farms a Talapi now, because I would rather have the Talapi be the hunter, because that's what they're known for, and Cretonians are best. Let me see if I can change it. So I can't change that. Let's have a look. Filter Kryptonian. Ooh, that's a cool looking one. I'm just gonna go on what they look like because I think they're pretty much all the same in terms of their stats. Age 24. I'm going on whether they have clean faces or not, but that means almost nothing. They just kind of just get dirty over time. Look at that guy. I mean, he's born to be royalty. He's 48 years old though, and that's almost dead. He's a vegetable farmer. I can't change it once they are that thing. That's sad. I wonder if she's getting old though. No, she's 30. I can't like incarcerate her either, or oh well, I'll just have to keep her. Well, this is a Talapi civilization after all, so maybe I should just keep the nobles as Talapi. What I would like to see is a menu quite like this one, which shows the leader and then all the heirs to the throne. We don't have any kind of system like that yet for the player, but there are nobles. So there isn't like the symmetry of having nobles in the other cities and then having heirs in your cities. It's the opposition has heirs and a leader. You don't have heirs and a leader. You have a set of nobles. I wonder if he'll ever change that, because it would be cool to have some symmetry there. Penny, I just saw you. I can sort of tell what they are just by looking at the top because, well, they all have red hair. It's a race of redheaded women with green eyes. It's like heaven. The only downside is that they have green skin. That first one that I picked was quite good, but let me have a look through their faces here. I saw the developer say, or I heard him say that I like the way that she looks, and she actually looks like the Master of Hunting, so I'm going to elevate her to Master of Hunting, Master of the Hunt. Because we do actually rely on hunters, and I've been wanting to increase their output because you can't really overhunt. So if I build more hunting places, then they could overhunt. And I've never been able to get my meat supply stable. It always depletes to nothing at some point. You can see the fruit and everything kind of is almost stable. Your vegetables as well. We might need another vegetable farm. This is the view that I was talking about that Manor Lords doesn't have. It needs something like this. Not only that, but this view is so useful. Because look at this, it'll show you every building of that type that you have. So for something like grain farms, we have 3, or warehouses, hugely useful. You can see everything that's stored in every warehouse in your city. This is an insane amount of detail. If you think about this compared to even a game like Banished, but if you go further back to like early strategy games like Age of Empires and stuff, like this is like completely unfathomable. The idea that every single item in the city has a location somewhere and that you can track that location down and see like exactly how much of each thing is in each warehouse. With each citizen having a job, it's so insanely detailed and amazing. Yeah, and the next step, like if this is GTA 2, 1 or 2, and then the next step is GTA 3 or 4 or 5, but you can build an entire city and have every single person in that city doing a realistic job that actually contributes to the economy. That's the future. That's what we're looking at for the future. Like, I think City Skylines is probably the closest thing. City Skylines 2 is probably the closest thing to that, but it doesn't have nearly as much detail or interactivity as a game like this. I don't know, I actually haven't played it, so it might be. But I know that you can't, for example, go to war in the game. But I guess there are quite a few similarities. This to me does seem a lot more involved though. Like there's a lot more story to it, and the fact that you can go to war. Like, can you imagine City Skylines, but it was like mixed with Civilization, or not Total War, because that's in the past. I think Civilization's a good one, or Call of Duty. No, not Call of Duty. I'm trying to think of like a modern day RTS. There really aren't a lot of them because Modern Warfare isn't really interesting enough for a game. You know, it's all drone strikes and nukes and fascism. That's what a modern RTS would be like. Hey, Ganapathy. It sounds almost like, no, I'm not going to make fun of your name. Why would I do that? It's a beautiful name. I was just going to say the last part, pathy, though, it sounds almost like a medical thing. I'm not making fun of it, I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of. Hope you're doing well. Oh, thanks, man. Well, if that's a tutorial for how to build things, this is a tutorial on how to have fun. Or alternatively, be very bored, depending on what your preferences are. But this is a very fun city building game called Song of Six, which also has a big world map. Look how big the world is. Isn't that crazy? I actually haven't even looked at this yet, but it is pretty crazy. I'm just on this side of this huge mountain range here. It's quite a nice big sea up there too. Let's see, currently building this paper thing, running out of food, and it's the first day of summer. The people that are already in my city want to move here because I suppose when in Rome, no, that's not the right saying. They want birds of a feather. That's the right saying, because they want to move to where all their people are, because this game is based on racism. It's all about racism. There was literally an update that was called racism. I believe racism was patched into the game. It actually has been here since the beginning. But I've spoken about that already in the stream, so I won't go into it too much. But you got one guy free. So let me just speed up time a bit. You can do that quite a lot. So I think there's only like 3 days per season. So the time works a bit strangely in this universe. Got a very itchy nose. I keep scratching my nose. It happens when I get excited, I think. Didn't that happen to Mr. Bean? He would like, yeah, he would always want to sneeze when he saw like a pretty girl or something. I have that almost exact same thing. And it must be because I'm British. All British people have Mr. Bean genes. I got the Bean gene. God damn it. Ah, typical. I wonder if I'm gonna get banned for that. It must be, that's gotta be considered racism. I'm just gonna refresh my chat here because sometimes the chat lags and I don't actually see what people are saying. I'm just gonna close everything on my phone and I'm going to reopen YouTube. I just bought like an arm that holds my phone, and I feel like I'm living in the future. It's like a tiny little big screen TV, except it's a small screen TV with a very long and adjustable stand. It's a phone on a arm holder. Don't get carried away. Don't get ahead of yourself, Tommy. Okay, just as I thought, I'm all alone. Alright. So these fighters in the ring, although it looks like they're doing nothing, they're fighting away. And I assume it's just because there's so many people in the city and you can't have like crazy action happening all the time. If he wanted to, and this is like, I'm talking from the programming side of it, if he wanted to, he could disable all the other citizens while I'm zoomed in on these guys and then just simulate their behavior, like aggregate it, you know, and then make these guys fight more. But what's happening here, and I know this from programming my own game, is that you can't have every single guy in the city pathfinding and deciding what to do at the same time, because that would be too much for processors. So you gotta have some of them just chilling out. So this guy they'll move and then they'll chill out in a position, and while they're chilling out it will say that they're doing something, but actually they're just kind of chilling there. And there might be like a timer on them that's timing what they're doing or something. Because these guys are supposedly fighting, but what they're actually doing is they're just standing around doing nothing. If I speed it up, you'll see, oh, they do a little bit of fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on how the fighting works. Like I say, he could fake it. You know, he could disable everyone, simulate their behavior, make a whole lot of action over there, but then you would lose the simulated, the realistic simulation aspects of the economy and city and all that stuff. When you conquer other towns, you don't get to control them in the same way that you control this city. So this will be the only city that you ever actually build in. This is your capital, and then the other cities are simulated in the way that I'm talking about. So I'm using the word simulation two ways. I mean, like, this is a realistic simulation, but then you could simplify this and simulate the behavior of the city with just numbers. So instead of like having the people actually go and harvest the grain, you could have just a system that counts how many people are farmers and then just guess, just randomly generate the amount of food that they have per year based on that. And that's what this game does with the cities that you control. At the moment I only control one city. Whose army is this? This guy's here. And they're my friends, that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, if somebody comes back and asks me, I'll show how to put an army out there. Look at all these people here practicing with the bow, and they all have cleanly washed faces. Look, this lady's got a little smile. That's cute. They're all quite serious, except for her. I'm actually gonna favorite her. I should also favorite the other noble. And I think the favorites are just accessible here. I haven't actually checked. What's the point of favoriting them if you can't then just look at the favorites here? Huh, weird. Maybe it's in this menu here. No? That's the same icon, but it's not. Oh, my nose is itchy. It's so strange. I always wonder when something like that happens, like, what am I doing? Is there something in my environment that's making my nose itch? It might be because I have a mustache at the moment, and I don't usually have a mustache. I've let it grow longer than I usually do. The food is getting dangerously low, but we're almost at harvest season. I just realized now it's because we have over 500 people. I've never had this many people before in my city, in this city. I do want to see how to look. Oh, there you go, favorite, it was right there. Okay, cool. All of them are tilapies at the moment. I've just made this person my favorite because he's got a smile. Let me read a bit about it. I think all of them have basically the same description in the race. Let me see. I know there are differences, but it's just the stuff that I've made her. So like she's a soldier, for example, in Division 6. It's really cool the way it says that, but I've always dreamt of being a retired. Okay, that needs a little bit of work there. The grammar of that. I know in the game Dwarf Fortress, the guy who made it, I think his name is Taff or something like that. Can't remember his name. He said, I know that they dedicated a lot of time just to the vocabulary of the game, just to make the stories interesting and stuff like that. A lot of details that really don't matter when it comes to gameplay, which is why I have mixed feelings about the game. Really, really cool and interesting little project that it's arguable whether they contribute to good gameplay or not. I feel like I want to end the stream and just scratch my nose. I think that the guy who made this game really nailed the aesthetic of it. I think it takes a while to read the game properly, similar to Dwarf Fortress. It can give you a little bit of a headache, like looking at the world like this. And the realism of it actually makes it worse because it gives you a kind of vertigo feeling. But once you get used to it, I mean, even when you first start playing the game, it can be really impressive. Like looking at these trees, and at night time, your mouse gives off this light, and you can see the way that the lighting system works with the normal maps that he's put on all the sprites here. It gives them like a three-dimensionality that, you know, not any of the other games that are in the genre have that. You know, RimWorld doesn't have that. It has basic lighting. It doesn't have dynamic lighting like this game does. This game has very, very simple dynamic lighting. Yeah, and just the graphics. You know, RimWorld is very iconic in the way that they've designed the characters in the world. It's like icons interacting with each other, but this guy's gone for a pixelated realism, which is why it reminds me of GTA 1 and 2. It's because of that same pixelated realistic style. I'm talking a lot, and that's because I'm afraid to play it while on stream, because I'm afraid I'm going to make mistakes and then I'm going to have to go back in my save file, because I enjoy playing games so much that streaming takes away from that for me, which is why I'll never be like a great streamer. It's even the same for me with multiplayer games. I find that when I'm playing multiplayer games, the fact that I'm talking to somebody else, or that I have to wait for somebody else or something like that, takes away from my experience of playing the game. I think that's just me and people in general, and there's a lot of things behind that. But yeah, like I go into a mode of wanting to explain things and show people like they've never seen it before. Yeah. Anyway, I need to get a better stream setup. It's not a good stream setup. I mean, there could be people right now saying stuff and I wouldn't even be able to tell, because it sometimes bugs out. There probably aren't, but because it sometimes bugs out, I would never know. Look at this guy's face. It's so dwarvish. He's really nailed. Like, as a programmer, I'm working on my website right now, but I also make games. Like, it's just a complete work of art. Like, the way that he's made not just one type of character generator, but one for each race. And he's made multiple versions of it. Like, I remember the old version, and there's people who have actually complained that the new version isn't as good as the old one. So he's made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's made at least 16 good face generating systems. And the results are brilliant. They're so funny. And I've got lots of tilapis working in this carpentry thing. Let's see what the priority is there. Tilapi. Let's just take that down a bit. I feel like I made her leave that room there. Is it just me, or was that greener? That is greener. Why is that greener? Does that mean that they like it slightly more? I think it does. Let's see. Carpenter's skill. Tilapi. Oh, there. 53. 75. Which is quite a big difference. I was always counting the hammers, but I guess that slight increase there, and that's because they're skilled hunters and stuff, so they would like working with bows more. And that's the kind of detail that he's put into all the races. So if you look, what is this? Master priority. When subjects are assigned. Okay. I guess this is more important than their specific priority. I haven't ever touched this, and I think it's just on medium for everything, which is cool. Yeah, it would come in useful, I guess, if your city was like in an emergency and you needed to quickly change their workplace. Let's have a look at. I think the Amoebians are probably the coolest race out of all of these. Other than the Cantors. The Cantors are like Chads or Mr. Manhattans or Handsome Squidwards or Tall Blue Matt Rife clones. Yeah. I think they have 3 eyes. It looks like they have 3 eyes. In my old playthrough, my objective was to get as many of these guys as I can. And so far in these playthroughs, I haven't seen any Cantors and I haven't seen any Argonaut. And they're extremely rare and also very powerful races. I think these Cantors are good at like everything. They're good at all these things. So they're not good at absolutely everything, but they're good at a lot of stuff. Like look at this warehouse, exports, janitors. They're good janitors, apparently. I didn't expect that. Whoops. Let's get that menu back. They're good at everything when it comes to work. Not so good at the farming though. That's what Cretonians are for, I suppose. Good at admin. So they're good at like all the admin, they're good at all the services, and they're good at all of the work stuff. And these guys, there's a lot of different ways to get to the various menus. I thought that was a bug crawling on my screen, but it was just a person. Okay. Oh yeah, the Argonaut aren't good. They're very, very bad at work, except for cannibalism. Very, very good at cannibalism. Jeez, why would you want these guys in your city? Though they're very good at service, apparently. That doesn't make sense. They're bad at everything, but they're really good at working in the cafeteria. They're really good lunch ladies. They're good public speakers. I guess I would pay attention if a giant spider said something. They're bad ambassadors, which goes against what I was just saying. I suppose I would pay attention, but I might not trust a giant spider. So that it does make sense. They're good teachers, probably for the first reason. I mean, tough love. You need tough love as a teacher. And what's better at tough love than a tarantula? Giant tarantula. Good guards, bad at stockades. Oh, no, they are good at everything here. They just don't like it. They don't like working at stockades, but they like working at guard posts. Yeah, not good at raising children. That makes sense. Good at exports, though. That's unexpected. They make good salespeople. I don't even know what the water pumps are for yet. There is a whole menu here that I haven't unlocked. Water stuff. Should be placed close to a natural sweet water site. A pump fills canal network with water pressure pumps connected to the same. Alright, well I haven't needed that because I have quite a lot of natural water sources around. And it's these guys that love the natural water sources. But they're not having the best time. They're one of my least happy demographics. And I noticed that a lot of them are working up here, and that's probably the reason. And I'm building these houses for people. I should probably make these for Dondorians. What is the type of... It's a mud wall. Okay, because I remember I did build these for the Amoebians. Oh, there you can see since I started playing, the demographics here have changed because I did change the priorities a little bit, and that's good. I kind of want to cancel this building. Anyway, I'll let them finish. I was thinking Amevians would prefer to live on the side of the river here. Mary Wheel, that's such a good character portrait. Getting. So that's a human, I believe. Yeah, reliable human. So the humans have both genders. I've never seen a female Kryptonian. I don't think they have female Kryptonians. Oh, this one looks female. Okay, so they do. She, yeah. Right? Or did I just imagine that? Maybe they don't have genders. Maybe they're gender neutral. Yeah, maybe it is a female name though. Big B, Bob, Claire. Oh, okay, that's pretty. And they do, yeah, that's, you can see it. It's so subtle, and that's what I'm talking about, like the artistry, and not only programming this, but, you know, artistically indicating the difference between a male and a female. Look at the ears, for example. Oh, it's so cool. It's so brilliant. I mean, he's sculpted a, you know, he's built a world. It's world building, beautiful world building. So let's see the Garthemies, if they have females, because it looks like the names are split. So these do have females. I don't think the Dondorians have females. Let's see. Yeah, all the Dondorians are male. Look at this guy. I think the less said about how these guys look, the better. They're actually just kind of like gruff human. They're just like humans with beards, really. But the humans also have beards. Oh wait, am I looking at humans? No, these are Dondorians. These are Dondorians. Let's have a look at humans. Yeah, the humans aren't as gruff. They're slightly smaller than the Dondorians. The Dondorians are a little bit more stout, I think. I think they're like dwarves, so they're shorter and they're thicker. Like Danny DeVito. And then all of these ones are female, I know that. So look. Yeah, all of these are girls. One's quite manly looking though. I like how this game is slow. So, like Manor Lords is slow, but it's actually much faster than this game at its base speed. Like lots of stuff happens. If you just play this game at its base speed, like I'm playing it now, almost nothing happens. Because everybody's just going about their business, and there isn't much that can happen. I mean, we could run out of food, but it's going to take a long time. But there's speed controls that make the game run incredibly fast. You can go through a year in like 30 seconds. So you're kind of like a time god, and just playing the game at normal speed just allows you to relax. This guy very dirty, yeah. What is he covered in? Is that blood? He must be from the arena. It must have... It's crazy detail here. Yo. She's clean, I guess, because she's just been bathing. You can even see, like, yo, that guy's covered. This guy looks dirty. He looks dirty. I only just noticed that now. You can actually tell who's dirty and clean. He's clean, obviously. dirty here, yeah, dirty. Oh no, clean. Okay, I got that one wrong. Why does that person look dirty? Oh, she's miserable. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I can't even remember what I was saying because I got distracted by the detail there. Yeah, let's have a look at the Amivians, seeing as we're going through all of the different races and checking out their genders. Merrick. So these guys have original names. The other ones seem the other ones' names are kind of all shared amongst the different races. You can almost see, even within this race, there's like sub races. I forget what the actual correct term for that is. But I know even race isn't an accepted scientific term. I should rather call these species because they're not able to breed with each other. If they were races, then interbreeding would be possible. Yeah, so all of these guys have big smiles, big cheesy grins, and they'll all bite your face off. I'm getting worried about the food supply, but there's not really much I can do about it. I'm importing fruit, and the bakeries are full. I have tools. See, if I was playing just by myself, this is the type of thing I'd be thinking about. And clothes. I've got lots of clothes. I've actually never had this many clothes. And I wonder why that is. I'm running out of materials, so I'm going to take some people off here. Oh, are these guys making shields? These should be, no, they're making furniture, okay. Good. I'm also filling up, or at least I'm trying to fill up these places. Should put a guy on there seeing as I've got some clothes. That's the clothes supplier. This is the shields, right? Okay, so there is a guy working there, that's good. Right. People will just deliver to the army supply depots, and then they'll be used to supply armies when they're out on the prowl. Refresh my YouTube chat quick. Getting an ad for myself. I should probably take the ads off, they're really putting people off. Yeah. Anyway, let me do that quick. I don't actually know how the ad thing works, but I think I enabled it once and now it's just on forever. I'll have to look into that off stream sometime. But sorry about that if you got put off by an ad. These vegetable gardens are looking fresher than they usually do. But yeah, it's harvest season. I've never actually looked at this closely. I usually just speed up time and let them go about it, but like look at the amount of detail here. You know, like compared to a game like RimWorld, you know, this guy's got a little. You can see he's carrying vegetables. Yeah. And they've got like a shadow underneath it. You can see that he's actually carrying it above the ground. I don't know. It impresses me. And once you learn about the law and you learn what all the races are, you can't unsee it. So like I can just look here and see like, oh, there's some Kryptonians working in the orchards, and it's just such like a warm, familiar. Oh, here's some Dondorians working in the gem mines. You know? That's how you're supposed to set up your. So it's similar to faster than light FTL. You got some Amevians sleeping in the Amevian town. This guy's he's yet to furnish his room. Oh, so I suppose that's what the stone bricks and stuff are for. So you can see all the furniture that they have in each room. It's an insane amount of detail. I should allow people to have fish in their rooms as well. How do I do that again? Oh, yeah. I won't though, because I need food. These are all the things that they're allowed to eat. Food rations are going down, unfortunately. Okay, let's watch the fields get harvested here. It's about this time that I like to relieve people of their duties so that they can go out and harvest the ground fruit here. It may not be worth it anymore, but like at least for these mushrooms, because that's quite a big mushroom supply. But there's stuff all over the show that they can harvest every spring. So around that time, I like to take people off those things. This is probably the most multicultural like epicenter of the whole village, because you go in here and there's always a bunch of people. Looks like they've been throwing fruit at the speaker here. There's a bunch of like rotten vegetables on the stand. You'll see them throw. Also here at the actors. Oh, you'll see them throw them at the people in the stocks. If there's ever a prisoner. I have actually got a prisoner. I could actually afford to deal with him. Where are my prisoners? It says I have one prisoner. He might not be a prisoner, he might be a... This has never worked, but I'm just going to look here. Prisoner. Yeah, that didn't work. Let's have a look. Human. Thief. So there is a human thief somewhere in the city. Oh, he's waiting to be executed. There you go. I'll put one person on execution duty. I could send him elsewhere. Yeah, let's send him to the arena. Because there's not enough people. There's just, everyone's too busy. There's no one available to execute him. So I'm going to send him to, there's a crowd at the arena. A little crowd. Look at this car, how excited he is. So here he is, the thief. Fighting to death in the arena, sentenced to be killed in the arena, pleads innocence. There's no court yet, so if someone pleads innocence, I can't do anything about that. Oh, that guy's got testicles. Did he die already? Yeah, I think he died already. I missed it because of that guy revving his engine. yeah, but anyway, they dealt with him. So I suppose these are the people who enjoy fighting in the arena, or maybe they're employees. Oh, they're employees. They're called employees, but I don't know, maybe they're having fun, because I know those kinds of people enjoy fighting. I mean, they're not people. These are people. Are dwarves people? That's an interesting question. Are dwarves, like in the Lord of the Rings universe, are dwarves considered people? Or are people exclusively human? I don't know if a market and the food stall does the same. Oh no, they do different things. A market has like tools. Oh, no tools. I thought it would have tools. Oh, these are all the things that they can furnish their homes with. Tools you can assign to various jobs using this button here. It'll just increase the amount of tools that they use. So my food supply is increasing. I haven't seen this menu before. You should always click on stuff in this game because yeah, this is where you see all the troops. So I guess this was the previous Oh, workforce has gone down because this building has just been built. So I'm just going to take that down because it's the wrong time for people to not be available for work. Harvest season is when you need all hands on deck. It's very important to have certain foods, like fruit is very important for the tilapia nursery. Every nursery requires a different type of food, but fruit is required for both the human and the tilapia nursery. And then like meat is required for the Garthimi nursery. I forgot I had 2 of those. So if you run out of fruit, the children starve. Oh, David Kimball. Okay, well when you're selecting first of all, hello. The most important thing when selecting a location is, well, you need to consider what difficulty you want to play at, because every location can be played. So if you're a beginner, you want the easiest location. And when you're selecting a location, it'll actually give you a little explanation of what makes the area hard. And if I remember correctly, it'll say, and let me save a game quick and actually go have a look, because it's difficult for me to remember. But I seem to remember there being a little red text that tells you, no, not campaign, it's random game, right? Yeah. It tells you the bad things about it. So you just want to select an area that oh cool, I unlocked some new stuff. I used to have much more of these unlocked, but I think he must have reset them with the new updates. I had the bureaucrat, I'm pretty sure. I had merciful was definitely, I've got a achievement for that. I think there's an achievement for every one of these things. But anyway, I'll just select one of these things. I don't think they go away if you select them. What unlocked titles? Oh, the nudist. That's just from not having enough clothes. Okay. Let's have a look. Generate. Yeah. In terms of things like water or say clay nodes, for example. Giving myself an ad. Okay. Yeah, like I say, it depends on what kind of build you're going for, because I like to choose a place with everything because it's easier. So you can get a place that's like got mountains and in this playthrough I didn't choose mountains though, because I couldn't find a place. But you just want as much of everything as you can get. But it's not essential because you can trade for stuff. So if you for example don't have clay in your region, you can make an excess of another material, sell it to your neighbors, and then trade for clay, right? So that's why I said the most important thing when choosing a location is the difficulty that you want to be playing at, because I don't think it's possible to completely screw yourself over. Like if you choose a location that has gems, you've made your game, at least the long-term game, much easier. Because if you have gems, then you can trade them for any other resource in the game. They're so valuable. I remember it used to be broken in earlier builds of the game. Like you started building diamonds and then you would just have infinite money after that. So yeah, the best thing if you're looking for an easy game is a balance of all the resources. So let's actually have a look. A spot without mineable resources will be more difficult. A spot with little fresh water will be a lot more difficult. So that was the message that I was talking about, just those little messages on the bottom. So you're going to look for a place that has the least amount of those. So this one has fresh water, so it's better than a place without fresh water, obviously. Yeah, I like to go along, obviously, freshwater side, so along a river makes things slightly easier. The more resources, the better. Like this area here is resource rich, but it doesn't have. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Hey, David, what do you think? You got the idea? There aren't that many perfect locations, so you actually have to spend time looking. And I know that based on the races that you choose, like living in the north will be better than living in the south, and living in the center gives you a more balanced game. So there's a lot of factors to consider, like what race you're going for. If you're going with the Tilapis, it's better to be in the forest. If you're going with the Dondorians, it's better to be by a mountain, right? Because they like those things. I know that the spot that I chose in my previous, it's difficult for me to find a good one, but the spot that I chose in my previous playthrough, it didn't have any of the little yellow things at the bottom, so it was a perfectly easy place to start, because I didn't really want much of a challenge. Also, a very important thing is to not be isolated. If you want a game where you're trading a lot, then you don't want to be isolated. But then an isolated one would be good if you're role playing as like a very like xenophobic nation that, like, say you want to play a race of Dondorians, because the Dondorians are racist by nature, so they're happier when they're by themselves. Then you can make them like isolated, and then just be like, use that isolation as like your military advantage, you know. So anything that you choose, that's the beauty of this game, is that you can really choose what you want to be like, what your game's going to be like. I am the type of person that finds making decisions like that very difficult. I get FOMO. Like if I chose Tilapis, the whole time I'd be thinking like, oh man, I wish I chose the other one. Which is why my city is the most diverse city I could possibly make. Like I'm purposefully not accepting new people into my city because I don't want there to be more of one race than the other. I mean, my goal is to have as many Dondorians as I can get because they're kind of special because they don't reproduce and stuff. Uh, but if I have too many of them, then I'll also stop accepting them because I wanna have a balanced one, balanced world. It's also it makes the game challenging in a different way because I have to have these specific. I used the word ghetto earlier. I don't want to use that word again. I just did though. These little regions. I think ghetto is the right word though because it's the perfect description of what it is. Anyway, like these segregated areas. Jesus, there's no good way of saying it. These are species, okay? They're not races. They don't interbreed, so therefore they're species. But anyway, it makes the game fun because you now have to deal with their inherent racism. So like you get this message that says, once we were united as brothers, now everywhere I look I see green, red, and even blue faces. Now I'm not racist. No, I'm not racist, but some of these are a lower breed, my lord. Please don't strike me for just reading the flavor text. Yeah, so these Amevians don't like seeing non-blues in their town, so that's why I've got all these houses down here that separate them. And all these guys work at the fisheries mainly. When I started this episode, they were working up here, and then I had to change the work priority so that there weren't so many of them working over there. Yeah, the city is very mixed though, like this main part of the city. David, I assume you've left us. Holla if you're still here. I should have shown you the area that I chose for this map. I don't think you can look at that description once you've chosen it. I wish you could, because I would show you. Yeah. I think this was a pretty ideal one. I don't like how these people settled so close to me though. Like look how small my region is compared to theirs. I don't think it matters at all. I'm not going to conquer these guys because they have way more people than I do, and I'm trading with both of them. It costs me a lot of money to get trading. Yeah, enough jibber jabber. I saved recently, so that's fine. Nobody ever sits on this throne. I guess that just represents the place that like attacking armies have to come after. So it's like the heart of your city. So I know you can move the throne. I think it would pay off to like put it behind some walls or something like that. Anyway, I'm getting hungry and I've been streaming for a while, so I'm going to end it there. Not a very exciting episode, but I just wanted to kind of showcase the game and my city. I think next time I play, I'll make sure that it's a more exciting episode with like war and stuff. But that stuff only happens later in the game, similar to Manor Lords, and it's definitely not the main focus of the game. The main focus is on managing your people and your empire. I would say that the fighting is good, but like there's only so far that kind of gameplay can take you. The fun is in playing with your city, and I think just watching these little guys walk around is fun. And considering that, I should think about making my game fun to watch as well. I mean, I've spent a lot of time getting my game working, like getting the AI just to walk around and not get stuck and that kind of thing. And I've been leaving the graphics to last, but I think it's about time that I put a little bit of effort into like making it look good. If I can get it looking like half as good as this, I'll be very, very happy. Look at this, oh man, the characterization of this, you just look at her face and you just know exactly what type of person. Look at that characterization. It looks like the guy from Minions, almost. Anyway, thanks for watching if you've watched this far, and why don't you go check out this game on Steam. It's not that much money, and the developer is a really solid dude who is really passionate about game design, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of great things from him in the future. Yeah, so have a good night, subscribe, hit the notification bell, give me a like, and say something nice in the comments. Mwah. Bye.